Very good morning, students. Today I am going to explain the poem Dust of Snow written by Robert Frost. This poem is related to class 10th book First Flight. Okay, it is a very beautiful poem written by Robert Frost. Okay, please listen it carefully. Firstly, we started from the poem. Firstly, we know that what is the definition of poetry? What is poetry? Okay, so many writers give the definitions of poetry, but the best definitions given by the writer, the poet William Wordsworth. He was also an American poet. He is also known as nature poet. William Wordsworth give the definition of poetry. He gave the definition of poetry. Poetry is a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It takes its origin from emotions recollected in tranquility. Means the meaning of the definition of poetry is means what is the spontaneous overflow? Spontaneous overflow is the feelings that is comes in your mind, that is suddenly comes in your minds with the feelings and emotions. Okay, and you should collect in a tranquility. That is the all definitions which is given by the poet William Wordsworth. Okay, it is enough for the definitions of poetry. Now we come to the poem Dust of Snow. After start from the poem, we know about the little introduction about the poet, and the poet is Robert Frost. Robert Frost full name was Robert Lee Frost. He was an American poet, and he was also known as the poet of non-seriousness matter. Means what is non-seriousness matter? His poetry is always based on the topic of non-seriousness. His poetry themes is always based on non-serious matter, incident, non-serious fact. Okay, he got four-time Pulitzer Prize. Robert Frost was the single American poet who got four-time Pulitzer Prize. What is Pulitzer Prize? Pulitzer Prize is a prize given which is given for the best work of poetry, and he is the only poet who got four-time Pulitzer Prize to the better work of poetry. Okay, so this is all about the brief introductions about the Robert Frost. He was also named the poet laureate of Vermont. Okay, so this is the all about the poet Robert Frost. So we come to the poems Dust of Snow. We read the poems line by line and explain after. Okay, the poem starts. It is a very small poem. It has only 8 lines, but it has a deep meaning. The poem has deep meanings. It is only 8 lines, but it has a deep meanings. Okay, the poem starts. Now we read the poems. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. This is the this is the first stanza of the poem. Okay, and these 4 lines have deeper meanings in the poems. In this poem, the poet said that two predictions that the poet said that the poet said that a crow sitting on a hemlock tree shook off the dust of snow on the poet. Okay, this simple incident changed the mood of the poet. Okay, hemlock tree is known as a poisonous tree. Okay, so in these 4 lines, the poet says that the way a crow shook down on me means the way the crow sat on the hemlock tree, some particles suddenly come to the body of the soldiers, and the poet is in very depressive mood, and his mood is his mood is suddenly changed because the particles fell down to the to the parts of to the poet's body. Next 4 line has given my heart a change of mood and saved some parts of a day I had rued. Means the poet said that the simple action changes the depressive mood of the poet. The poet is in the mood of sorrow, but the way the crow sat on the hemlock tree, then suddenly some particles came into the poet's body, and his mood is totally changed because he was in depressive mood. He said he think that he has wasted a part of his day re- repenting, but now with the change of mood he wants to utilize the rest of the day in some useful activity. So this is the all explanations about the poem. The poet in this poem there is a hidden message, and that is this poem conveys the message that even a simple incident can be capable of pulling out a man from depression and change his outlook about how he sees these words. This is the hidden message of the poem. So this poem is also compared with darkness, sadness and gloominess of man's lives. In this poem, the poet used so many literary devices. Okay, so many literary devices are used by the poet. Okay, the first literary device is used by the poet, that is known as enjambment. What is enjambment? Enjambment means there is no use of punctuation marks. Look the lines. Seven lines are written by continuously. There is no use of punctuation marks, and only last line have full stop. Means there is the use of literary devices, and the literary devices known as enjambment. Enjambment means no use of punctuation marks, means continuously writings. Okay. Second device is used of innocence. What is innocence? Innocence means repetitions of a vowel sounds, repetitions of a vowel sounds. And in this poem, the literary devices innocence is used in second lines. Suk means यहाँ these o and o repeated four times, that is known as assonance, because o is a vowels and o is repeated in the second lines four times, that is known as assonance. And next literary device is the poet used, that is known as alliteration. That is known as alliteration. alliteration. Alliteration means repetitions of a words, means in this lines save s and s, that is known as alliterations. Okay, means repetitions of a same sound words. Okay, that is known as alliteration. So thank you students, I hope you easily understand this poem. Thank you, have a good day beta.